Well, Jordan, I need you to help a friend out, okay?
Yeah.
Because, Jordan, I listen to you when you talk. I respect you immensely. I respect your skills. I respect your knowledge. I just respect you. And so, years ago, when Joe Burrow went down and Jake Browning comes into a big-time position, you're like, he's got this. Sure enough, he had it. I mean, 4-3, looked great. So when it happened again, I'm like, I know what Jordan told me 2 years ago. It's the same guy. Different. It's just a different year. So I went on this show, and I'm like, the season's not over for the Cincinnati Bengals. Two shows later, 2 weeks later, Jordan, it's not looking too good. My take's not looking too good. I gave the floor to you, somebody who knows Jake Browning and knows him well and has coached him up, knows what beats inside and ticks. What's your opinion of what we've seen the last 2 weeks, Jordan?
Well, I think this is the NFL. I think it's year to year. I think a lot of people picked the Ravens to win it all this year, not to be 1-3. And when I look at the game last night, and even going back to the game that he went in and finished in Jacksonville, it's the same guys outside, but we're seeing issues. I heard what you guys were saying before I came on, looking at the schedule and the O-line. And from my position, what I do, so I consult with guys year round on an annual basis. So if they're a starter, I'm doing videos every week on their game tape. And if they're a backup, I do it when they go in. And I had him last week at Minnesota in a bad game that was hard to watch. I kind of look at a lot of things, but one of the things I like to show guys when true is when two things were true, how many completions did you have? So when someone was open, and it doesn't have to be wide open, just somebody's open and you have time with your drop and everything, whether it's number 1 in the progression, you had time to finish your drop, or number 3 in the progression, you had time to progress. How'd you do on those downs? And in the Minnesota game, he was 9 for 9 with a touchdown. And last night he was 13 for 17 in those situations with a drop. And so for 100 and something yards. And so when I look at, not that there's not things to clean up for everybody, but I do like to remind my client that outside of this rare case, I don't really care what social media or the media thinks. But when you have an opportunity to play well and put the ball in play, how you doing in that situation? And so that's kind of how I think I judge a guy. If people are open and we're missing them, or somebody's open and we're not seeing them because our eyes are in the wrong spot or we're getting the wrong protection, that's a different thing to solve for. But if anything, I think this is showing, some holes in the game, and also just how spectacular Joe was last year to be able to play in this similar circumstance, and be a magician back there to be able to create things that don't exist. As far as moving forward, and this is just from being a player and being in the locker room. I was on a 2-14 team, and I was on a 14-2 team. And so, and a bunch of others. And, you can pay attention. If you're Zach right now, you can pay attention to all the noise, or you can sit here and go, we're 1-0 in the division, and we've got a bunch of things to clean up. And we've got 4 of our next 5 at home, as you guys pointed out. And one of those is Pittsburgh at home, who's leading the division, who I think in the preseason, everyone would have had at 4 in that division, or 3. And so I think that's still there. The pathway to the playoffs is winning the division. And I think that's what the concerns are. And they have a ton of stuff to clean up, as do the Chiefs and the Ravens and some other teams that were highly touted coming into the year.
Well, I'm glad you transitioned to the forward part, because that's where I was going to go next, and I'll still ask it, because what you're saying about, with time to drop and go through a progression, he's been terrific. That's the sort of stuff that coaches see on film, unless they're hearing too much or they're concerned about the way the season is going regardless, and might make a move for, say, somebody like Kirk Cousins, Jameis Winston, Russell Wilson. These are names over the next month that we're going to be hearing quite a bit about for teams that might be concerned about their quarterback spot. Do you think that any of those guys would be a fit? And I know we're talking about your client here, but do you think any of those guys would be a fit in Cincinnati, or just stay the course here, Jordan?
Well, I think it's why I allude to what does it look like, and what are the stats when given an opportunity to succeed? Now, I know this is football, right? The best team in the league, Josh Allen doesn't get to drop back and somebody's open and no one comes, right? The defense rushes. I'm not sitting here saying, well, if they just had a perfect O-line and blocked every play, it'd be better. Well, of course, but that doesn't exist.
Right.
But no, I think that you need to start looking at replacing a player when they're given an opportunity to succeed and don't consistently. Okay, whether that's a right guard, a quarterback, or a punter watching last night, to be honest. And so if we've given you an opportunity to succeed and you're not, that's when I think you put a backup in or you trade for somebody at whatever the position is. And I think that's just football. That's not even like the Bengals. That's just general overgeneralization. But again, you look at it and you go, all right, so if I do my math, he's whatever that is, 24 for 26 or whatever. You know what I mean? It's pretty close to like playing good football, okay, when given an opportunity. Now, if you say that we need somebody to be able to juke 4 dudes and hurdle somebody and get out of bounds, then yeah, maybe you should try and trade for somebody who can do that, which is not available. But I think you need to start looking at addressing replacing a player when they've been given an opportunity to succeed and they're consistently not. And I bet behind closed doors or on air, if you ask 10 really good head coaches that, they'd probably say some version of that sentence.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.